joining this show and thanking our honorable guest for today. As you know, the topic today, we're going to be seeing the kind of talking about the kind of leadership model that works for Africa. Because in the past and even in recent happenings on the continent, particularly in Nigeria, we have seen the kind of governance and leadership on the continent. Now, are we going to sit and watch all this until they kill our people that would just even air out their voices and protest peacefully? Are we going to sit and watch that? No, the women are saying it is painful to see our children die every day under this kind of leadership. It is painful. It hurts a mother to see a child that just goes out and will never come back the next day. And so we are stepping up to say, what kind of African leadership model that really works for us as African people? Who are the kind of leadership or leaders that we should look out for? What is their objective? What is the vision for the continent? How are we going to achieve that? Another thing that we'll be talking about with Dr. Arikana is what kind of possibilities do we have apart from this, what so-called peaceful protest where we are just being exposed to be killed? What is the actions that we need to know and we need to hear? And as you all know, we've been missing her for quite a long while. You've been asking questions. How is Mama doing? When is she coming to talk to us? Now she is right here today. I am so happy and looking forward, to share this wonderful session with you all and her together. And so I go over to you, Mama, and say, welcome to the show. We're happy to have you here. How are you doing?
I am doing very well, my dear daughter. Thank you so very much. I've been following up with you and keep up the great work that you're doing.
Oh, Mom, we are here. We are here because we are seeing that it's not working. Probably you wouldn't be seeing me doing this, Mom, if you were up there, if you were in a position where I know I can sleep, I can rest because I trust your work. And so we have to keep the fight going because it's not going the way it's supposed to go. Now, Mom, you look at what is happening on the continent. How do you feel?
Well, I think the continent has been ailing for far too long. Yes, starting with what's going on in Nigeria right now, it's a really, really just sad state of affairs. The images coming out of Nigeria are just extremely disturbing and sad. But that continues the journey of the story of Africa. And for me, I think already I live the horror of what I know is happening on the continent from millions of babies dying senselessly from starvation, from preventable diseases. And there's nothing as horrific as watching a child starving to death, women dying while giving birth to another life. So what's happening now, it just compounds to what is already happening that's not even being brought to light. So in a nutshell, the continent is in a complete state of despair, hopelessness, and it's just sad. There's a need for a complete overhaul of the continent. There's a need for complete different approach to how we should look at the continent. The reason all these issues are arising, if it's not Nigeria today, it was South Africa before, then it was Mali, we have all these hotspots erupting around the continent, is because the fundamentals have never been addressed.
Correct.
Fundamentals have never been addressed. If we can get those youth employed, then maybe there would be, as what you're seeing is the tip of the iceberg of anger that has been festering for a long time.
Correct.
And then, of course, when you have these rogue police officers who are now going out and just killing innocent people who are protesting peacefully, it just adds to the problem. But I think we must realize that this is a tip of the iceberg of an issue that's been festering over a long period of time. And it's not just in Nigeria. It's all over Africa. And really, we need to really rethink our Africa, to look at the fundamentals of why Africa is where it is today. The economic situation of Africa has got to change. And that means we really, really need to look at what can we do to regain our economic control? What can we do to charter a new path? Because clearly the path we are on now is not working. It's not working for the entire continent. Because today is Nigeria, tomorrow is going to be another country. And let's be realistic about it. The fundamentals must be addressed.
Mom, it's painful from the point of view. Yes,
Extremely painful. As a mother,
painful.
I have grandchildren. I have sons who could easily be the ones lying on the street. So yes, as a mother, as a grandmother, it is extremely painful, extremely painful.
The ADDI is our baby. The ADDI is our hope. The ADDI is gonna change this whole game. We know that we have a lot of work to do. Mom, just tell us, where do we even start?
Well, it starts with the economics, because until we can pool our resources together, there is just no way, no money, no voice. We got to put our resources together. And what I find comforting is knowing that at least those in the diaspora, if we come together, we can pool our resources, we can afford to begin a new path in the development of the continent. But what's needed is us waking up and clearly having a conversation with the image in the mirror and beginning to say, no more self-hate, no more mistrust of each other. But that while we may not love each other, while we may not even like each other, but we need to understand that at the end of the day, our strength is in our unity. So I know for a fact, if the diaspora were to come together and we each put $1, we take just 1 million of us. We take 10 million of us. Now let's put $10. Now let's put $100. I know if we come together, we got this. If we were to begin somewhere, start pulling our funds together. How do you think the Jewish National Fund was started? It was people who believed in each other.
Correct.
Yes, we can't say, well, there may be 1 out of 10 who is going to do the wrong thing. So we can't do anything because of one person who may not do the right thing. We got to factor that in to say, there may be some among us who are going to betray us. There may be some among us who are not going to do the right thing. There may be some among us who are going to undermine the program. But we factor that into our strategic planning. They will always be there. But we cannot not do the right thing because a few among us are going to misbehave. We need to be vigilant. We put things in place to scoop them out before they can derail the process. But this moment is calling for people who are of like minds, people who say enough is enough. The fundamentals of what is going on in Africa must be addressed. And that is where the conversation needs to begin. Because it is Nigeria today, it's going to be another country tomorrow. How long can our youth continue to die? How long can they continue to suffer? The suffering of our youth has got to be brought to an end. And that means a complete rethinking of the continent and where the continent is going. We're having elections in 2021. The African Union could set that agenda of a new trajectory of the entire continent. Because just addressing Nigeria alone is not enough. We must address what's going on in Nigeria, but we must also make sure that it never happens again in any other African country. Our youth deserve better. Our youth deserve to be employed. They deserve an environment that they can exhibit their entrepreneurship. We must create an environment for them to thrive. That is what's missing. So youth in Africa are at a boiling point. Let's accept that. Let's be clear about that. Our youth are at a boiling point, and that we have got to tackle this issue head on. We got to grab the bull by the horns and address the issue of the African youth. Today is Nigeria. It's going to be another country tomorrow and another country tomorrow. To what end?
Mom, but I know when you sit back and watch this youth, you are proud of them. They're the youth that will not take it any longer, isn't it?
They're speaking. That's the only way they have to voice to be heard. That is the only outlet they have to be heard. It's sad, but we must do better. And I really strongly feel that this is an issue that falls squarely on the lap of the African Union in terms of strategizing a new path, a new agenda for the continent, not just for one country, but for the continent.
It is warm to hear that. It is very warm, and I see the energy. At least we have a trustworthy a mother. That's why we're talking about women and mother, because we carry them. They really don't know that, or maybe they know, they don't want to accept. But what I want to assure you, Mom, is when I see the revolution, what is called a social revolution, and even though they call it a protest, it's not a protest. It's not going to stop today. It will not even stop. It's just going to spike up. And so the issue of number, like you're saying, our unity. Now you're seeing that we're many, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that, and I'm putting pressure on the African diaspora to say, at least we're outside. We have a better global view. We have a better bird's eye view of what's going on. It's very difficult to talk to someone in Nigeria and ask them to be global, to think continental. They're struggling just to survive on a day-to-day basis. And then you expect them to think continental. We're in a better position to really strategize and begin to do something about what is going on in our Africa. Begin to facilitate an Africa that's going to go in a different trajectory. An Africa that's going to say, doing the same thing over and over again is Albert Einstein's definition of insanity. We got to try something different. And we diaspora could facilitate that something different. We could facilitate Africa going on and taking on a different trajectory. We need to pull our resources together. We can pull our resources together. We have the ability to pull our resources together. But not only do we have the resources, we also have the intellectual capacity. We have the expertise that is needed. We can make a difference. We can make a difference. So I'm hoping that we cannot just get upset about what's going on in Nigeria, but we must take it to a next level. You know, just like I talk to them, I say, yes, we mourned George Floyd, but then what have we done after that? We're going to wait until the next episode. No, we got to stand up and put our money where our mouths are. The issue of the youth in Africa, starting with what we're having now in Nigeria, we must all own it. This is an issue that belongs to us. Those youth could easily be your child. They could easily be my own child, my own grandson. So let's strategize. Let's think beyond right now. But let's think about, let's stop this. How do we stop this from happening again, not only in Nigeria, but all over Africa? Because it will happen, my daughter. It will happen. Because the youth are at a boiling point. There's no mistake about it. The youth in Africa are at a boiling point. And we have to address that issue aggressively. And we must have a conversation with them. And they must begin to feel that something is being done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that sense of feeling like something is being done is what's missing. Because they just feel like they're being bypassed and nobody's paying attention to them.
Correct.
What other avenue do they have? What other choice do they have? And then when the police start shooting at them, it just leaves. I just feel hopeless. But it doesn't have to end there. We must unite.
No, you don't need to be hopeless, Mom, because I've been going behind the scene. Even the mobilization that is going about this NSAS in Berlin, in Stuttgart is coming this Friday. And now we are thinking this is the right time to provide solutions. And so I'm calling up to the audience. If you are in Europe, we already started the ADDI chapter for Europe. And they say we need to strike at the right time. This is the right time we need to strike. I saw in the past this week how much money left the diaspora to be in this process, to feed the people on the street. How much money you cannot imagine it. And I think to myself, what if we had put this money for something useful to create these jobs? It would have been more productive. So please, tonight, that's why I bring Doctor here. We're opening up this ADDI Europe chapter WhatsApp group first. Please drop in your contact because we have to start implementing. It is hot. and we need to provide these solutions. We're not going to wait like Judge Floyd, and then we go back and we're silent and nothing works. Mom, if there are other chapters out there that you already know, I was talking to Olayo PA, and they're coming up with other chapters. It is the time now for us to recruit all these activists on the street. We should let them go back and fall to sleep.
What actually the plan that we have with ADDI is to open chapters in each African country. And our entry into every country includes one, a women's empowerment program. We plan to give small, low interest loans to women to fund startup projects, as well as a youth empowerment program for the youth to start small scale projects. However, as we enter each country, every woman who gets this loan will be paired with another business person in the diaspora. The same thing with the youth. Every youth who get this small loan, they will also be paired with another youth in the diaspora. But I think with the situation in Nigeria, I was hoping that we can, while we are not able to move into Nigeria right away, but maybe our youth needs an outlet. If we could start a program, a mentorship program between our youth and other youth or adults in the diaspora, where we can begin to pair this with these youth. I don't know. Maybe your program could start this, where we can sign up mentors, and then the youth can pick up the youth. The youth who are interested in having a mentor in the diaspora, they can post their names at the ADDI website or on your platform, and then we'll encourage diaspora to also pick them up. Let's start a conversation. Let's see how we can begin to mentor them. Let's see how we can begin to neutralize what is going on in Africa. Ease the tension somehow. So that is something that we are discussing with the board to say, how do we begin to engage the youth in Nigeria, the youth all over the continent. But starting with Nigeria, let's see how we can begin to engage them, and let's begin to mentor them. Let's begin to see how we can play a role in just giving them this little comfort that they could use somebody else to talk to, somebody to say, you know what are you thinking? What do you have in mind? What can you do? With $200, can you start something? With $300, with $500, what are you thinking? You got any ideas that you need implementation? Because for me, I've had so many calls from young people, and when you listen to the amount of money that's keeping them from moving to the next level, sometimes it's as little as $50. It's sad that one needed $50 in order to actually cross this bridge that can give them a bigger opportunity. That's what I'm talking about. So to just have a friend to talk to bounce things by, and also to have people who are going to say, you know what, I'm asking all of them to say, if you can afford $100 a year, just be a friend to somebody. So I think as diaspora, we can start by just being there for them, but just being friends with them. So we're looking at starting a program where we can get this youth just to have somebody to kind of like a pen pal, to just be friends with one of the diaspora, and let's begin to engage them and see how we can begin to neutralize the situation and just give them a sliver of hope, and also give us an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of, even if it's one person. But let's all make a commitment to impact one child in Nigeria, beginning now.
Absolutely. I fully agree with you. And this is what we don't need to wait to gather millions to go and build industries. We can already bridge them and start building it now. I fully agree with that. And somebody was just asking where we're going to drop the contact on this WhatsApp number flowing out, running on the street, or the same number that you used to call. Just drop your contact and say ADDI Europe chapter.
We will call. Yes, we can actually call it the ADDI pen pal, where they can actually say, I'm looking for a diaspora pen pal. And they can just go to the ADD. I'll make sure that site is ready. You could also have it on your site. We can work together. We are going to be having a webinar with all the radio, diaspora radio, and internet TV channels to see if all of you could be part of this and help us identify those youth. So in Europe, we want to encourage diaspora to go to the website and pick one up and just begin communicating with them. So we want the youth to give us their phone numbers and their emails, and then we'll encourage Diaspora to go in. We are going to be looking for somebody to just watch those youth as they're signing up, and then we make sure that they get assigned. But let's begin to have a conversation with our youth in Africa. All of us have a responsibility to do something about this. Let's just engage them. Let's see how we can help them. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. We're going to be challenging every diaspora to make a difference.
Okay,
at least
all right.
pick up a youth and make a difference.
There's also a question coming: how individuals can contribute to the ADDI individually? I think the homepage is now running.
There's a website, ouraddi.org.
Yes.
And you can donate if you want to. Well, again, we haven't discussed it with the board, but I think that let's start with helping the youth of Nigeria, and then we can expand it to other countries. But for now, let's try and engage the youth in Nigeria. Let's just start having conversations and encourage every diaspora. Just pick one. There's enough of us that if we just pick one, if you can pick more than one to empower, we are just saying, talk to them. Just take a moment once a month, talk to them.
Correct.